They're 6-0 when Giannis has double-digit assists. Talking about a guy moving the ball around. He's going up against Blake Griffin and the Pistons tonight.
Blake looked like Will Ferrell.
Blake looked like Will Ferrell.
Oh.
Will Ferrell passes the ball to Drummond
Drummond
inside for the dunk. Looked like he came down tough, but onto the Cooper. We all know. Shaq, you gave me your super name, your nickname?
Superman, you know, guy can really play. He plays hard every night. When he gets around the basket, this is what he does. Well, I don't like that. You got to throw that down, big dog. But I love the way he plays the game.
And BD, he does it on both ends right here. You see he's going to pick Blake's pocket.
Give me that. Give me that.
Get to the other end.
And, you know, this guy got length, you know, athletic, and like Shaq said, he play hard. Like, I like the fact that he don't want to work with nobody. He don't want to work out with nobody.
I like that.
He want the fame. He want the challenge. And, you know, he's guarding Blake Griffin. When do you see the best players guarding the best players?
You know what I like about
All-Star?
I don't mind him playing hard, but I like the fact that he ain't trying to shoot that jumper. That jumper.
That he know where he can go to work.
Right. Get 28 in the paint.
Wow.
Middleton is an all-star.
Middleton is an all-star.
They should have 2 all-stars on their team.
Because they're wrecking the game. Look at this. Bledsoe.
And I think he's been playing incredibly well for their team as well. I like Milwaukee in first place, and I think Middleton has earned that right to be an all-star as well, you know, along with Giannis.
Bledsoe, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Detroit, 2-9 when Blake Griffin scores fewer than 20 points. They need some offensive help themselves in that situation. Do you guys see any blockbuster or major trades for any of the teams that's under the radar, like a Milwaukee, like a Toronto, someone that's like, this is our year, let's just sneak somebody in there? You know, we know OKC needs a shooter. Anyone that you could see that really, if this is their year, their window, or is it so much that maybe the Warriors have it, you can wait till next summer?
I mean, I would have to really sit and look and see who's who and who would fit where, but, you know, of course, everyone's talking about that Anthony Davis trade. Only problem with that is even if he gets traded to LA, they're still not going to win. No, I don't think anybody can match what Golden State is doing because they got 4 guys plus another guy who acts like he's one of those guys. They're definitely going to be hard to beat. It'll make them better in LA, but I don't think it'll put them to the point to where they can beat Golden State. So everybody still needs 2 or 3 pieces to, you know, make their team better.
Baron Davis, I'm Dell Dempsey in New Orleans. I call you, you're Magic Johnson. I say, you know what, Magic? I got a trade for you. I'll trade you. I'll trade you, Anthony Davis, straight up for LeBron James. What do you say?
You out your rabbit mind, buddy. Are you crazy?
No, they're probably going to want Kuzma.
You could trade Anthony Davis for LeBron James.
I'm just saying, I'm New Orleans. I'm saying you want Anthony Davis.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Now I give you something else. I give you anything else you want.
Okay, so
anybody else.
I want Kuzma, Rondo, Ingram.
Yeah.
I want Kuzma, Ingram, Rondo.
Ingram. Oh, damn, that's
Who
tough.
else?
Kuzma, you're gonna give up Kuzma?
I don't want to give up Kuz. I don't think the Lakers. I think the Lakers either Ingram or Kuzma. They got to keep. You know what I mean? Like one of the other.
But if I'm New Orleans, I'm not giving you. I'm like I want it all.
I love you guys, but Kuzma and Brandon got to go. You got
if you get AD, if you get AD.
How about Boston? They could say, we got Tatum in here, we got James.
You got Josh Hart.
But is Kyrie staying? Is Anthony Davis going to go there if Kyrie leaves?
Oh.
Because LeBron and Kyrie
So you saying Kyrie going back to Lakers?
Okay, but no.
Oh, okay. I just thought you had some inside.
Simply, there's no inside, there's no sources.
Is that an inside thing? No, I'm joking. All right, sorry, Candace. Sorry, Candace. Damn.
Maybe we can go back to Greg Anthony's coat and make it
can we make some peace on Greg Anthony's?
That would be it. LeBron reacting if the Pelicans asked for Ingram. Y'all are fast, man. You really
And
did
the
that
internet, undefeated, right there.
Good job up here with players only. OKC next. How about this? George, floater, halftime, career high. That's all you need to know. That boy got game. Welcome to the Players Only Halftime Report, presented by American Express. I'm Chris Webber. We got my girl Candace Parker, BD, that's Baron Davis, and the big Shaq, the big everything. What's up, big fella? You laughing at. What's up?
I don't mean to sweat her, but she looks nice. Get it? Sweat her?
Explain the inside joke. Welcome back to American Express teammates. Now, of course, we're watching the Houston Pelicans game, but we got a game that's better than that. So we're going to switch over right now. How about this? I think that's 60. 60 points, and you just look at that.
Yikes.
Field goal percentage, 36. What is that? 21 for 36 shooting. That's right. These
Quick
teammates
math,
of
what?
Westbrook and Paul just like that
That was
math
quick
right there.
math.
I saw you watching me too. I was gonna look
Let
at
me
you.
carry the one.
Cheat on,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Trying early, but let's get right to the highlights. BD, what's the best thing you like about Paul George's game?
I think the shift in him being the aggressive, right? He's smooth, mid-range to the hole. He handles the ball, and he can find people. But I just like him in the ISO situation. I don't think it's nobody in the league that can guard this kid right now.
You want to see this move? Check it out. A career high 31 in the first half, and the float on the floater. I don't know who that was. He gave them the business. George again with 31.
Oh, what's that? Afro Euro step?
Afro Euro step.
Oh, show it to him.
Okay, show it again.
Afro beat.
That's how you
That's
do
an
it.
Afro beat.
You know what I mean? So, where's the Westbrook? You want to see how Amadou Diallo get up? There you go. The oop baseline for the dunk. OKC up 83-73. Now, Vucevic. It's time for him to go up. You got to dunk on everybody you can. And even though it didn't go in sometimes, you still got to attack the basket. Jerry and Grant, one of the Grant twins, goes to the hole. He makes
Son of Harvey.
26-5 Magic run. Now, Schroeder, he's going to tie the game up with a three-pointer. You know, Candace, I think he's been so good for this team, Schroeder, because he keeps the pace of a guy like Russell Westbrook doing his thing.
Well, Shooter has obviously played starting minutes, and for him to be able to play also without Russell, but alongside him, it gives OKC another look.
It gives them another look, lets them keep the pace, and how about that? 118, 113. You want to see a little more George?
Give it to him.
Up, step back, crossover, step back.
Fournier
Yikes.
tried.
Got him.
Tried.
OKC. Now, Candace, and we were talking, you and I believe, and guys are interested to hear what y'all think, but Candace was saying in the back that OKC just really all they need is a shooter, and that would help them basically what you were saying, right, from penetration from a Westbrook and a standstill shooter or somebody that can get their own shot.
I think at this point, just a standstill shooter, and it'll open up the lane and it'll take some pressure off of Russell and obviously give him more space for him to drive, because he's doing really good going north and south this season.
I agree with you, but they also need another guy that can score at all times because, you know, it's nice to have a 1-2 punch, but what if one of those guys are not having a good game? You need that other guy that's an automatic scorer. Schroeder can be that guy every now and then, but he's kind of a wild card. I don't want him taking, you know, crazy shots trying to get 20.
Do you guys think a team like this, BD, needs to make a trade before the February 7th trade deadline, or because they're playing well and rely on their defense, you just got to throw all your chips in and play this way? Or if you want to win a championship, is this year to make the trade, or do you think Golden State still has it and you have another year or two before you shore up your team?
I think it's the year to make the trade because what Candace and Shaq is saying, those are the two people they need, right? And you can go and find somebody on somebody's bench. Look what Houston did with Fareed. You can go find one of these people that can be, you know, a third or a fourth scorer for you, rebounder, effective guy, and then you can also go get you a shooter, somebody that can stretch the defense. And if they have those two things with Schroeder and with Russ and PG doing most of the ball handling, they should be fine.
Yeah, it'd be interesting with their defense to see if they make any more moves. Now, we'll be back with more in a minute on the American Express halftime report. Shaq, when your coworkers laugh at your jokes, it's because they're too scared not to. Sweater.
You don't like my joke, Mouse?
Really? Okay, TK, I got one for you.
Oh, there you go. That's your studious look.
Yeah.
Professor Parker.
That was my carry the one.
Professor
look.
Parker.
That was my quick math look.
There you go. We'll be back. Players only.
Y'all ain't like my joke?
Welcome.
Back. It's the American Express halftime report. We got the crew up here, players only. We're back every Tuesday. You can catch us on TNT. That's the station you're watching now, just in case you didn't know. Candace, we were watching the game in the back, and you were talking about teammates, hustle players, and how this wasn't stars only, but players only, meaning that we need to give a little love to the players that do all the dirty work, the unsung heroes. And you have a guy you want to talk about tonight.
Well, Kenneth Fareed, picked up by Houston, has bounced around the league for some time, changed positions from playing a 4 into a league that now they only value stretch 4s now. So it was, where do you play him? Well, Houston found a place to play him, and that's at the 5 position. PJ Tucker is their blue-collar worker. Well, now they have another one. He gets the hustle plays. He always seems to be at the right place at the right time. Moves without the ball very well, is able to finish. For what he gives up in size, he has in strength. And, you know, obviously shouldn't have thrown that pass, but he gets it back with the hustle play and gets the and one. This is a person that is filling in for Clint Capella. who was averaging 18 points, 13 rebounds. At the half, he has 13 and 7. And so it's not all about just the stars. It's about those other players that can fill in, and especially in the playoffs, this is great for them to have a backup behind Clint.
And he's out there working hard. You can see he's out there sweating like he's wearing a black turtleneck sweater. He's out there sweating.
Where's my man that sent in the tweet earlier about laughing at Shaq's jokes? Oh, this guy, funny guy.
Like that sweater.
Eddie Murphy in the studio tonight, guys. When the Clumps 3 comes back
What's
out.
up, Keith Sweat?
You want me to sing a little Keith? Like get up tonight.
Get him.
I thought we was teammates. Now Barry down there pumping it up. All right, Barry. I just saw the Mr. Rogers documentary. He straight up jacking his style. But see,
It's
I
a
don't even like
day
doing
on
that.
players only. It's a beautiful day
In the
on players.
neighborhood. Hey, you remember what Eddie Murphy did Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood? That's who VD look like right now. About to rob your crib. We'll be right back. Players only, halftime. Oh, somebody help me out there.
That's right.
Baron Davis turning. Oh, there you go. Mr. Boom Hood.
The internet has no chill.
And they quick, too.
Undefeated.
Players only halftime report presented by American Express. Now, usually we don't come in with highlights of the losing team, but the Lakers have been making a run with a few highlights.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look at him. Don't you look at him.
No, don't look at him. It's a tech.
Don't look at him.
Don't stand over him. Yeah.
Where's Khalifa looking?
You got beads at the end.
Khalifa.
I see you with the beads,
You
hero.
know. Welcome to Players Only. I'm Chris Webber. We got Shaq, Candace Parker, and my man VD. So what's going on, guys? When you look at the first half of this game, actually we can look at some of these plays. When you see a young team like the Lakers and they don't have LeBron James there, Candace, and you see the start of a game like this, if you're the coach or a teammate, what do you say to your players and why is this going on?
Well, this looks like a team that hasn't had a ball handler with them. I mean, Rajon Rondo missed time. Lonzo Ball's out with an ankle injury. LeBron's been out for 16 games. So when the head of your offense has been out, you know, you're going to turn the ball over. But they were just giving the ball away.
I'd have to disagree with my good friend Candace. This right here is just a lack of focus because after we get rid of these highlights, we're going to show highlights when they start focusing, they start making the plays.
No, I
We're
agree
all
too.
professional, we all can play, and all coaches say the same thing. You guys are just not, listen, you're playing against the 76ers. LeBron's not out. Some of these guys should be auditioning because when they come back, they're going to have to start tightening it up. A trade might be made. You know, so guys need to start auditioning and playing out. That right there was just a lack of focus. First play of the game, you can't turn it over.
I wanted to say, like, could it be the lack of focus? Could that be because of all the stuff that we're hearing today, right?
Right.
But, you know, the Anthony Davis trade rumors and, you know, them getting off to a slow start. When you have a young team like that, usually they're in their head, right?
Because they think they're going to be traded.
Yeah, because like you showing up to
And
the
that's
game,
why you're
you know-
supposed to step up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
you're right.
showing
Yeah,
up-
to show I'm next.
Yeah, you got to step
No,
up.
that's not the way you start. But I think as they got into the flow, they kind of, you know, when you start playing, you kind of lose that mentality. You got to get back to playing basketball.
So could it also be that the ball's in the wrong people's hands? I mean, you see Josh Hart with the ball in his hands trying to make plays as opposed to, you know, these guys are used to having finishing plays and not having to make them.
I mean, but they're down, they're playing in L.A., and we all know how the L.A. fans are. They're getting back in the game right there. Mike Penberthy with the two-handed jam.
Really on the
They're starting to
defensive
come out,
end.
yeah, and they're a little bit more focused.
Let me ask you
Playing
something,
with great
Shaq.
energy.
Shaq, you played in two cities that were temptations for teammates, and that was Miami and the Lakers. Did the great Lakers team ever say, this team is coming in tonight, or did you say, this team is coming in tonight? I know that they went out last night. We need to start early and get off to a 10-point lead because then they won't come back. Or in Miami, both places temptations for players.
It also depends on your plan. When you're playing against a great team that really has championship aspirations, like you guys never went out. So like we would definitely worry about y'all. But the young teams, we know they was going out. You know how I knew? 'Cause when I went out, I saw. So I knew who was out and who wasn't out. And you know, the Lakers again, they were not mentally ready. And you know, once the crowd started getting into the game and LeBron started talking, you know, making faces and stuff like that, their concentration and their focus was a little bit better, and they're starting to get back in the game. But, you know, Philly cannot lose this game today.
Yeah.
Against a LeBron-less Lakers, you got to get that win.
So you're not going to put Cleveland in that mix of
Going out late at
cities?
night?
Nobody went out in
No, they
Cleveland?
went to the movies.
Okay, I was, my bad.
Coaches love Cleveland. Like, I see at 6 o'clock practice, they're like, all right, all right.
You go out in Cleveland and go right to the airport.
Listen, one time, I was living in Cleveland.
Sorry,
and went out
Cleveland.
3 times and
I
I
was
didn't see nothing. They ain't even had no
Hey,
hookah bar in
did
Cleveland.
you see them midgets? They have things called midgets in
Midgets?
Cleveland.
What's that?
They like a million gnats. It was like a million gnats just hanging on buildings. That was the most interesting thing I seen in Cleveland. Midgets.
He do look like Wiz
Yeah, he
Khalifa, don't
look like Tiger, too.
Tiger with the dunk.
A little bit with him.
he? He do look like Wiz.
Oh, man. We'll be back
Count it up,
in
ain't you,
a minute
boy?
on the American Express halftime report. We'll tell you who more people look like. We know all their twins.
I never seen you out when you was in L.A.
Welcome back to Fans Only, Mr. Vegas. I hope you are listening, GA. Matter of fact, I know you are. I just want to throw a couple things out to you, GA. Baron Davis.
Button now.
Hold on, GA.
We got a button.
Yeah, hold on. Baron Davis said you look like the black man on the penny that got rejected. Baron Davis said you cut your suit coat out of a car of an old pimp Cadillac.
And Candace said you look like a Rick James backup singer. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
Hey, Jimmy, why you laughing so hard, Jimmy?
Wait a minute, Candace. I know C. Webber caught a few comments tonight.
Oh, they've been killing me. That's why I'm glad they
Oh,
killing you,
yeah.
because Candace said
Well,
you trying
we
to join the
good then.
NFL Hall of Fame.
Hey, he got that
I
pimp
got my
cushion.
jacket.
He got that pimp cushion jacket on.
Is that velvet?
Hey, you have to have left this to me, and it will.
Golden ticket. Thank you for wearing that outfit, GA. You've let me get away with this turtleneck, and I'm hot in the studio.
Hey, GA, don't let him talk you out of that, dog. Bring that one out.
Hold on.
I ain't worried about
This
it.
next time, don't do the red pinstripes
I got
with
a
it.
maroon one next
And wear
week.
that vest. You know it's a vest with that.
I ain't wearing a vest this time. I'm going to have a maroon one
You
next
look like
week.
a gold sugar cane.
Gentry the Pelicans have to deal with. Oh, yeah. There's James Harden, who's averaged 44 in the month of January. And regardless of what he does tonight, will become the 4th player in NBA history to average 40 points for a calendar month. A remarkable thing. Even more remarkable that Wilt did it 11 times. Kobe actually did that 4 times. I did not realize that.
No, that's a remarkable number, especially in today's league, the way the game is played. To have him be in a position to do this with all of the great stars we have, and so many guys have never done this, really speaks to a lot of different things. But I think it's the perfect blend of the right coach, the right front office, and the right star.
You have to remember, he's doing this. Wilt did not bring the ball down the floor, did not dribble into the low post area, and then did not dunk it on top of people. Somebody was passing him the ball. James does this all basically on his own. It's not him coming off a screen, somebody hits him, he catches and shoots it. He doesn't operate that way. So
Right.
95, 98% of the time, it's James by himself during this month making things happen for himself.
Virtually all unassisted baskets.
Exactly.
Coach, I just learned Wilt Chamberlain was underutilized. He should have been given the ball and said,
Yeah.
just
Should have
go.
been taking it up. He did just about everything else. So Harden will try to extend his 30-point scoring streak to 24. He'll also try to extend his streak of being the leading scorer among all scorers in the game he's playing to 24, which is another remarkable team because that affects the other team.
Well, it might actually get more difficult in a weird sort of way because he has more talent with him now. One of the things that really sort of propelled him on this streak was the fact that there's nobody else to demand the ball. And what's fascinating is it played right into the sort of mad science experiment that they've had, which is if we can control every single possession and control outcome possession by possession, we can overcome the fact that we may not be deep enough on the defensive side of the ball. Chris Paul coming back means he may have less touches and maybe they're less efficient offensively, which in a weird way puts more pressure on their defense.
By the way, Harden's next 50-point game will move him up the all-time list of career 50-point games. He'll pass Rick Barry for 5th all-time if he gets number 15 or when he gets number 15. It's going to happen sooner or later. Again, Wilt skews the graphic with 118 career 50-point games. You do that when you average 50 for an entire season. That tends to mess things up. Over/under tonight against the Pelicans, the shorthanded Pelicans, for points for James Harden. We're going to put it at 45.
I'm under. I think that Alvin Gentry is not afraid to try something different. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Alvin say, we're going to trap him every time he comes or goes this way or that way, or send the guy at him to get the ball out of his hands. Try something a little bit different. He would do that.
Okay.
So I was adamantly to the under when I first was posed this question here as we were talking offset. I have to be honest with you. I think I've come around to the idea that simply because you and I are working, it has to be a given that he gets 50 points. So I'm going to take the over.
That is a sound strategy. I can't argue with that kind of logic. I'm going to go under as well. Chris Paul's out there. He's going to take some of the possessions away from him. And frankly, the Pelicans aren't playing very well right now. Defensively, they've been really bad all season. Harden might not need to play a ton in the fourth quarter. We'll see how that plays out later on tonight. Much more coming up here on Game Time here for a Tuesday night. It's a players-only Tuesday night on TNT.